Hi,
I'm Chris,
I'm Isabel.
I'm Matthew.
I'm Samir,
And I'm Garrett.
and we are presenting on chapters 9 and 10. And chapter 9 started with entry strategy for your business. And the first part of the entry strategy and the most important part of your business is going to be finding customers. Finding customers can be very hard to do, but the first thing you need to do is make sure that you have customers before you develop your product. You have to have at least around 5 or 6 customers before you develop your product is like confirmation that your product will be able to sell once you make it. Because if you develop the product and then after you develop it you realize that you can't find any customers, you waste a lot of money, you waste a lot of time. So if you find that even before you develop your product that you can't find customers, you might want to go back, change your product, change your business plan, try to switch things around, and always make sure that you have customers before you make anything. So finding customers. When you find a customer, you want to find a lead steer customer. This is a customer that is very well respected in the business community, maybe a cutting edge business or someone who has a lot of power and people who look up to him. Once you find a customer like this who will buy your product, a lot of other customers will come and start to basically say, well, this guy has a lot of money, this guy is really successful, he's made a lot of good decisions, he's buying his product, so I should too. And that's very important. So you have to have a good business plan, you have to have a good product, you have to have a good pitch to try to get one of these lead steer customers. Because if your product involves a lot of risk, then you're going to need testimonials from people saying that it's worth it. And so a lot of investors, they won't even give you any money for your company unless you can prove that you have 5 willing, paying customers committed to buying your product once you make it.
The second part of your entry strategy is going to be all about competition. You're going to be fighting over customers with other businesses. So you're going to want to need to know some of the right techniques for whatever competitors you're going to be up against. So the first technique that I'm going to talk about is the guerrilla technique, which is where you start in one area of business or one product and then expand over time into other areas. So take Big, for example. They started making pens in the 50s, and then over time they began making lighters and razors. The next technique is the onslaught, which is extremely well characterized by Wolverine, because Wolverine is very aggressive and he's in your face, and which is exactly what an onslaught is. It's a very fast attack on whatever area of business you're going into, and it's typically very pricey because it can involve really big price cuts so that your competitors just can't match your prices. And then the next one is the feint. The feint involves 2 different arenas. One is the focal arena, which is where your target is most interested in, and the second is the focal arena is where your target or your competitor is most interested in. The target arena is where you're most interested in. With the feint, you are building a position into your competitor's the focal arena, so then your competitor withdraws away from your target arena, so then you can build a better position into your target arena. And it's very similar to the next technique, which is the gambit. A gambit is essentially withdrawing one piece of low value so that you can invest into a bigger piece of value. So, say you have you're banking pencils and paper, but you really want to exceed in pencils. So then you withdraw away from papers and put more resources into your pencils, and then you let your competitor expand in paper.
in the age of uncertainty that we're living in today, we're coming to find out that conventional planning strategies are not as effective as discovery-oriented planning strategies, in that conventional strategies are affiliated with reaching idealistic goals in their planning and adhering to certain standards that may not be realistic to complete in your business, but that look good on paper and inevitably fail. Discovery-driven planning is more oriented in what can be learned through the process of your business. So it's oriented towards increasing the amount of learning that you can do at the lowest cost, as opposed to just reaching some idealistic goal that is unreachable. And this is done by tackling and addressing the assumptions that exist within your business plan, which is something not done by conventional methods. By addressing these assumptions, we can reach a more realistic picture of the business plan rather than just ignoring these assumptions as being facts. There are several aspects of discovery-driven planning, one of which is framing, and that's determining what unit of business your project will be operating under. For example, insurance companies operate under how many claims they'll be filing, and another aspect of discovery-driven planning is the determination of I'm sorry, I forgot what it was called, but basically it was translating your planning strategies into operating activities. So going from your plan that you're conceiving in your brain into the actual strategy that you will take to carry out that plan. And Samir will continue with the other four.
The other 4 areas, one is benchmarking, which is very important, which shows your process and exactly where you are compared to the highest point in your same industry. The next is testing, which is assumption testing, which is the biggest difference between discovery-driven planning and conceptual planning. And this is a very big difference, one that's very important, one that leads us to this new age of driven thinking. The next is managing milestones, which helps you set a point where you try to reach new milestones that you hopefully would like to reach later on once you've already achieved a milestone, and you can continue making progress. And the last step is practice, and this is where you're able to use all your resources, but you try to use as most as you can with the little you have. It makes the best of the situation. And Isabel will continue.
So based on what Samir just said, we're going to do a case study of the KO Soap Corporation. And this is a company that generally makes soap. And they realized that there was a big need for floppy disks. Like there's a huge demand for floppy disks. So they were thinking about joining the floppy disk industry based on the demand for it. And like they thought this because they make soap, they have quite the knowledge in chemistry, so they thought that they could do well in it. And the first step that they did to see if they would do well in this industry was they did framing, and they did it in the form of a reverse financial statement. That means, as opposed of like starting from like zero and figuring out like how much you want to get and stuff like that, they just say target profit, then the target earnings, and the target expenses. So this gives like a sobering clarity of the challenge that's ahead of them. The next thing they do after they see like the challenge is they check the market reality. Like who are they going to sell it to? Like, for example, the audience, like general people in the grocery store aren't going to buy a floppy disk from a soap company. Would you buy a flash drive from Dell? Like no, you wouldn't. So they know that people are not going to buy their flash drive. So they know that's not the audience for them. So the next audience that they look for is the OEM meat producers, which are people that put software on discs, and they don't care what brand it is. They just look to see the quality, the specifications, and the price. And they noticed that there was a huge audience for that and a huge demand there. So they figured that they could get into the industry that way. The next thing they did was create a better business model. And this means that they looked at their advantages, their disadvantages. They knew compared to other companies that their floppy disk was going to be like the same as other companies, but they also knew that their advantage is that they could create a higher quality floppy disk because they're good at chemistry because they make soap and they know their surface physics. So they knew that that was what was going to separate them from the rest. And then knowing that their advantages and disadvantages allows them to perform better economically, managerially, and operationally. So it allowed them to create kind of a attack approach. And the next thing they did was specify the deliverables. And this is, after they create all this plan, this is how they like send their message out to the rest of the company. They teach the managers and employees what to do and how to go about this, like going into this new industry.